Yeah, it's gonna protect it. So there it goes right there.
Station 1024 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition view 3,700. Temperature 0 Celsius. Dew point 00.
Yeah, it's over there. Yeah, I get that mixed up all the time.